how much of eggs am I going to produce if I am able to invest this amount of money? Your best shot is to do what is right from the get-go, so that when the funds start rolling in, when the hen starts spinning the eggs, so in the quest to become a poultry farmer, one of the things or one of the questions that you ask yourself is, how much land do I need? And you may also want to ask, why is it that a lot of poultry farmers buy a lot of land? You know, they have a lot of space to use, but then they end up using just a fraction of that piece of land. Yeah, so today I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why they get that large expanse of land. And number one of it is this: waste management. You see, it's okay to be engulfed and overwhelmed in the thought of the production that you get at the end of the day, the number of eggs and all those things, how much feed that I need to produce how many crates of egg. It's okay to be engulfed in all that, but you must also put into consideration how much of waste am I going to let out depending on the number of birds that I have on my farm. Currently, this is a 10,000 capacity layer pen. We have only stocked one of the pens, but very soon we're going to be stocking the second one to make it 10,000 full capacity layer pen. But then for the 5,000 hens, they have been able to put out this amount of waste in about a year or so. So while you're there with your thinking cap and you're thinking, how much of eggs am I going to produce if I am able to invest this amount of money, you should also think about how much of waste am I going to have to manage in that period of time. A lot of people reach out and they say, I have a plot of land in Imo State, I have 2 plots of land in Ogun State. Is that enough to run a 5,000 capacity as I saw in your video? So you may be able to answer yourself if you consider putting out this amount of waste. Yes, there's another option. Instead of just allowing the waste to remain like this, you can choose to just let them into a particular chamber, and then from that chamber you suck it out and you allow your manure dryer, another machine, you allow that manure dryer to do the work for you. It converts the waste into something really valuable. Once you dry the liquid waste, you can just sell it to those who use it as manure for crop production. And the second reason is expansion. You see, oftentimes when a farmer is starting out, you may not have enough funds to really execute the kind of dream that you have in your heart. Maybe you're looking to have 100,000 capacity layer farm or 10,000 capacity layer farm, as the case may be. But right there, when you are about to start the project, all you could think of having or completing, if you really lay your hands on the project, is a 2,000 capacity layer farm. Yeah, it's okay to just start with what you have, but then when it comes to land, you need to have that your dream at the back of your mind. You need to consider it when you are purchasing the land. So you don't just buy land based on what you're able to do now, but you buy the land based on where you think you're going. All right, so for example, in this place we have a couple acres of land to play with, and from the get-go we even have 2 structures. This is one layer pen. Here is a 5,000 capacity, and over here is another one, is a 5,000 capacity too. We are yet to put cages in here, so it's okay to start this on this farm. What we did was to construct the 2 pens, 1 and 2, 5,000 capacity each, and then this house is the only one that was stocked. So there is already the goal of expansion, and right now we are planning to expand into this one so we can have 10,000 capacity, and then we still have much land. That means if we want to go to 20,000 capacity and even 30,000 capacity, we still have land just within this location. So it's okay to start small, but then when you're purchasing your land, it's better to put the future plans in perspective so that you don't just buy 1 plot of land, 1 acre of land, you know, as the case may be. So that when the funds start rolling in, when the hen starts spinning the eggs, you know, you still have a lot of land to play with, especially in the same location. Alright, so before we continue, this is DIY Agric, your #1 animal scientist and your poultry success partner. So this is that #1 guy who is out there dishing out quality content, giving you the right knowledge about poultry, everything that you need to actually succeed on this journey called poultry farming. So if this is your first time or you're here to subscribe to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you think you're already enjoying the content, please give me that thumbs up and let's continue into the video. And number 3, when thinking about starting a poultry farm, you need to think about it as a business. You know, you're going to have need for security, so you're going to have the security post. You're going to have need for the egg shed where you're going to be placing your eggs before they are taken out for sale, or a selling area where the customers come and they're able to have access to the eggs. So you need to think about all of these places, all of these facilities, even the workers, even the staff quarters. You know, if you need to have an area on the farm where you have where you plant things that are consumed locally on the farm. All of these things need to be put into perspective so that you have a complete business area. And for biosecurity reasons, there's need for adequate spacing of structures, different structures, a pen from another pen. There's need for adequate spacing, the security post from the area where the farming operation is being carried out. There is need for adequate spacing, a parking area where customers get to park, where the admin and the staff have to park. All of those things need to be put into perspective. Now tell me if you can put all these things I've mentioned on a plot of land: a 5,000 capacity layer pen, a 10,000 capacity layer pen, a parking area for the visitors, parking area for the staff, the security post, the egg shed, the staff quarters, you know, a place where you can plant things that you consume locally on the farm. All of these things, tell me if you can put them on one plot of land, 2 plots of land, 1 acre of land. You know, you tell me. Now I understand that you may be one of the people who bagged a PhD or master's in space management, and that's fine. And in fact, that will be good for business if you are able to put everything that you need on the farm on a small piece of land, and you do it so effectively. That will be perfect. You know, you manage the space so much that with just a couple of thousands or millions of naira, you are able to get yourself a farmland that is housing a 5,000 capacity layer pen, the security post, the egg shed, the staff quarters, all of those things in just a small piece of land. But I tell you, if you want to manage space, if you want to manage your resources, make sure that you don't manage space with these birds. You give them their standard space requirement. That is not to be toyed with. You don't say, they should manage this space, they should do. No. You have to make sure that you give them the standard space requirement. And oftentimes that is different between a good and a bad consultant. A good consultant will tell you all that you need to get the results that you truly need for that business. But the bad one just wants some couple of thousands into their bank account, so they will just go along with all of your suggestions. You say, I want to make sure that I use this space for this, and they just say, yeah, we can do it, and you just get your money, make sure that they start the project, and off they go. But the good one that wants you to really succeed will tell you from the get-go, from what I see here, this is not possible. Let's get another land, or let's just reduce the stocking density, and all those things. All of those things that would not really sound right in your ear, and it may even cost them that job. It might mean that you would not give them that job. It might mean that you will even quit that project. It might mean that, they don't get any money from you at all. But that's just what they need to tell you, the truth, the fact, because they are equipped with the right knowledge, and they can tell you, they can foresee into the near future if this thing is going to just collapse, or if it's something that you can take up from 1,000 birds to 10,000 birds capacity. So I think you can pick the right lesson there. Your best bet, your best shot is to do what is right from the get-go. So you don't have to start correcting things or whipping and murmuring because of the consequences of your action. So the goal of every poultry farmer is to be able to start from point A and get to their final destination, point Z. So your point A could be that you have just 100 birds, and your point Z could be having 100,000 birds at a time. So it's more like you have a dream that, okay, I should be able to have 100,000 birds on my farm. But then you don't have enough money to start the 100,000 birds capacity structure and putting in the birds and all that. So you just launch and you start with maybe 500 birds, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, as the case may be. But your goal, which you have at the back of your mind, is that you reach 100,000, 200,000, as the case may be. Right here on this farm, we started about a year ago with 5,000 capacity layer pen. This very one, we actually have 2 structures, this one and that one, 5,000, but we stopped this structure alone with 5,000 birds, and it's time to increase that 5,000 birds to 10,000.